An affair with a sheriff's detective, a criminal investigation into accusations of wrongdoing in David Dooley's murder trial, and why the Boone County Commonwealth's attorney has repeatedly ignored calls for her resignation.
Linda Talley-Smith is talking about all of it with the 9 on Your Side I-Team in her first television interview. She is sharing her story only with I-Team investigator Hillary Lake. Hillary.
Tanya, to add another layer to this story, Linda Talley-Smith is also a candidate running for re-election in this month's primary against Lewis Kelly. She is trying to hold on to a job voters first trusted her with 18 years ago as the Commonwealth's attorney for Boone and Gallatin counties. She knows some of the trust is broken, but she tells me she's done nothing wrong.
I'm going to miss these moments. I'm not having my kids around.
For nearly 2 decades,
And I lost 2 grandbabies that day.
Linda Talley-Smith has spent her days in a Boone County courtroom,
Kentucky versus Jessica Hood,
seeking justice for thousands of victims of felony crimes, including murdered mother Michelle Mockbee.
Judge Deanna Dennison on behalf of Mr. Dooley.
A judge's decision last May to give David Dooley a retrial for killing Mockbee, his co-worker, cast a cloud over Talley-Smith's stellar career as the Commonwealth's attorney for Boone and Gallatin counties. Months before that, Talley-Smith's own law clerk exposed an affair she had with the lead detective in the Dooley case after the case was over.
Why are you able to sit down and talk about all of this now?
I think it's only fair at this point in time because the way that the story has resonated with people in the area and the way it's been left unfairly paints me as the one that has done something wrong.
Talley-Smith points to the same judge's finding that awards Dooley a new trial as proof she didn't intentionally withhold a surveillance video from his defense team showing an unknown man near the Mockbee murder scene hours before Mockbee was killed.
Make no mistake about it, I did not withhold any evidence at any point in time.
She told the judge a year ago her office gave the defense team the tape at least 3 times, and they never went through it.
The judge's finding also includes a finding of ineffective assistance of counsel by his defense because they did not take advantage of the opportunities to get help to view the video.
Yet Josh Walton, chairman of the Boone County Republican Party and candidate for mayor of Florence, has repeatedly called for Talley-Smith to resign.
Her behavior does call into question her character and, her willingness to abide by the ethical standards of her office.
Attorney Lewis Kelly is running against Talley-Smith in the May primary for Commonwealth's attorney.
I'm disappointed that she is still running, but that's not my call to make, that's her.
Why have you not heeded those calls for you to go away, basically?
Because I haven't done anything wrong, and I have never given in to bullies.
Talley-Smith admits she made an error in her personal life when she had an affair with Detective McVeigh after David Dooley was convicted and his case was over. Detective McVeigh retired and was cleared of any wrongdoing.
What about the affair with Detective McVeigh? Was that not unethical?
Not from a legal perspective, no. From a personal perspective, absolutely. And I cannot express how big of a mistake that I made and he made.
I think that's been kind of her biggest offense, is saying I've made some mistakes in my personal life, but my actions as the Commonwealth attorney have been appropriate.
Those mistakes are referenced in a series of emails and text messages unearthed in the spring of 2016 between Talley-Smith and Detective McVeigh. They detail their secret affair. And in one text, Talley-Smith addresses that surveillance video of the unknown man. Quote, I get to live with the worry that someone on the defense side will find it at some point and that we'll all wind up in trouble over it. And the entire case will be tainted because of it. There was also an 18-page letter she wrote to McVeigh but never sent, criticizing his reputation and their affair. She tells me a misunderstanding with him about a different case caused her to put her anger toward him down on paper.
Over a week period of time, I was repeatedly trying to contact him and leaving him messages that I needed to talk to him about this because I had to turn that report over in discovery.
Talley-Smith tells me she saved the messages because if an appeals court ever granted David Dooley a new trial, she would have to tell the court about the affair with Detective McVeigh.
So otherwise, nobody would have ever seen any of this.
I can't imagine that they would have. I mean, most people delete all of their messages or have their emails deleted or save them somewhere else. I'm the one that accumulated them and put them all together for that purpose.
So who found those documents of Tally Smith's affair with Detective McVeigh in the first place? It was Tally Smith's former law clerk, Nick Ramler. Tally Smith has filed a civil lawsuit against him. She claims he stole the files from her office computer, which wasn't password protected. He's filed a whistleblower lawsuit against her.
It's one thing for him to take them out of the office, but it's another for him to treat them like they're his own and that he can give copies of them to anybody that he wants to.
Ramler gave the documents to attorney Steve Wolnizek after Tally Smith fired Ramler in September 2016 for poor work performance. Wolnizek told the I-Team last April he turned the files over to the office Tally Smith works for, the Kentucky Attorney General.
If she learned of this after the trial, she has an ethical obligation to do something about it.
The AG's office acknowledged to the I-Team in a letter last April it had opened up an investigation because of Wolnizek's concerns. Tally Smith has now been under criminal investigation by the Kentucky State Police for over a year.
I didn't know anything about the letter or the appointment until I was contacted by first online newspaper and then WCPO about commenting on this, and I didn't know anything about it.
The I-Team has now obtained a new letter dated December 20th, 2017 from the special prosecutor assigned to Tally Smith's case by the AG's office. Shane Young writes, quote, "At this point, I have found no criminal conduct on the part of Commonwealth's attorney, Linda Tally Smith."
Do you understand why there may be a trust issue here with some people in regard to you?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't discount the fact that people have a right to have lost respect for me because of personal mistakes, because of personal missteps that I've made. But I have not done anything wrong professionally.
The special prosecutor overseeing the criminal investigation into Linda Tally Smith tells me it is ongoing. The Kentucky State Police are actually handling it, and they won't say if it'll wrap up before the May 22nd primary. So what does Tally Smith's opponent, Lewis Kelly, have to say about all of this? We'll hear more from him and her thoughts on the election coming up tonight on 9 on Your Side at 11.